What were you the god of again?
Welcome to God of Crits. Today I'm going to be covering the Arcane Brotherhood in Icewind Dale's Rime of the Frostmaiden. The Arcane Brotherhood is interesting. I love them. I decided I was going to change their role in this book and make it a lot more interesting and a lot more important. It takes for you to kind of set a little groundwork before you start, because you're going to be, if you go with what I'm doing, you're going to be changing your campaign a bit, but I really like the way it turned out for me and my group. So you've got the 4 members of the Arcane Brotherhood that are inside of 10 Towns when the campaign starts. You've got Avarice, Velen, Naslantamor, and Dazan. And they're all very unique. They all kind of play their own role, and they all have the same goal, essentially. And their goal is to find Yithrin and find the end of this campaign. If I haven't said it already, spoilers, that should go without saying for the Behind the DM screen videos. But this video is going to be covering what I changed. So if you want to run it just the way the book has you run it, go for it. You can run it page by page and have it play out exactly the way the writers wanted to, and I'm sure you'll have a great time. This is for the DMs who want to try something different, who don't really... They love the template that the book sets, but they don't love every plot hook. And so that's what I'm going to be telling you guys about. So the Netherese kind of rose to prominence, I think, about 5,000 years ago. I have the excerpt here, and then people came in and came out and did their own things within Yithrin for quite a while. I kind of took the I took the template of the fate of Netheril and I created my own. So I'm going to go straight down and show you guys what I did for Arcane Brotherhood and Yithrin. There's this fluff text about the fate of Netheril in the book. I kept most of that, and then I come down here and I just have a highlighted section that says, this is what the Arcane Brotherhood knows. And then I have a section of what really happened, but I'll go into that later in my RL section. But what I've got here is, however, thousands of years later, so including the text of what's above, and then go ahead and read that, or you can pause on the video right now, read it all. And then what I said is, however, thousands of years later, a mage in the Arcane Brotherhood by the name of Iriel claims to have contacted the spirit of a near deity known as Karsus, which was in the text above. The guy who kind of refound Yithrin, I believe, who revealed the location to a well-preserved fallen city. Iriel sought out this city, and he made it operational, and it flew for 2 years. This was at the timeline perspective, from the start of the campaign, this would be 50 years ago, right? When it flew for 2 years. It went to the Great North, Icewind Dale. I said it is up near this section is technically up near the Sea of Moving Ice, and I said that they were looking for relics from Ostoria, a bygone era of magic-wielding giants. Something dire was discovered, something only Iriel saw. This is an important thing. I only gave this information to Iriel. That means that all of your Arcane Brotherhood that's going to be running around with the group in 10 Towns do not know what this is. Got to preserve a little bit of mystery. Whatever type of extraction he was trying to do, excavation, was unsuccessful. The city of Yithrin started to descend and crash somewhere in Icewind Dale, more specifically the Reghead Glacier. This happened, 45 years ago, and then I say that 43 years later, the Long Winter started in Icewind Dale. What seems like a long time, but in the scope of history, the two events are almost back to back. When you take in, 5,000 years ago was the start of the Netheril. Yes, what that artifact was is kind of more important to my RL video. It would be really confusing if I just explained it to you right now, but that's all you need to know for the Arcane Brotherhood section. If you're curious about what that artifact was, you can go over to my RL video and watch that one. Pretty much the way that I said is that everyone died, except for Dazan, who cut his way off as it was falling. The spire, he cut off. Because obviously you can find the spire in chapter 2, and it's already in the ground, and Dazan has kind of found it and moved in. I said that he moved in when Yithrin became operational, and then as it was falling, he cut off, and he's like, I'm out of here. Because he can die, and he'll be revived again. So he's just like, I'll die with it falling, and then I'll just, simulacrum, come right back. So I did that. I also made it that... Obviously, Iriel survived. Nas survived, Velen survived, Avarice survived, and then I said that those three girls, Avarice, Velen, and Nas, teamed up to find their way out of Ythryn, because it's buried, right? Or almost buried in ice. And they get the hell out of there. They say peace, fuck you to Irilarthus, who wanted them to stay, and they leave. They go back to the 10 towns, and then I say that Avarice and Velen kind of live out the next, 50 years. Maybe I kind of explained away their age by making them... Velen, you don't really have to explain away. She could be 70s, so she was 20 when it fell. That's totally understandable. Avarice, I would maybe tell the group when they meet her that she has some stone figure about her that maybe indicates that she's older than she appears. Nas is easy because she's a ghost. Dazan's a simulacrum, so he can stay whatever age he wants. Bada bing, bada boom. Your plot holes are plugged up, I guess you could say. This then made it a lot more interesting when it came to the Arcane Brotherhood trying to manipulate the group to get back to Ythryn, right? Because now they have different meaning. Now their meaning isn't, I just want to go to Ythryn. Now their meaning became, I want to get back to Ythryn. I know what's there, and I want to get back there. You can go ahead, and I know that this explains a lot about what Ythryn looks like to the group early on, but you could say it's 50 years ago, foggy memories, there's this, and this there, that's all I know. Give a little bit of information to each character, but I also made it so I did some intermingling between all of the Arcane Brotherhood that's going to be here. I said that Nas and Dazan were dating back when Ythryn fell, and if they meet each other, that's not going to go well, because they haven't seen each other in 50 years, Nas is dead. I said that Nas got to, again, spoilers, the island of Solstice. She was looking for the Codicil of White. She got there because Velen and Avarice convinced her to go alone and find it and bring it back. They knew she was going to die, but they sent her out because they didn't want her in the group. They wanted to thin the herd down to 2. This succeeded. If either Nas and Velen go, if either Avarice or Velen go to Solstice, Nas's ghost is going to be pissed, try to possess the characters. So this was a lot of fun to kind of make it so these Arcane Brotherhood members do not want to interact. They do not like each other. That's kind of the way that I said, therefore they won't work with each other. Because the way the book has it now, you could kind of unite Dazan, Velen, Nas, and Avarice and your group into an 8-person party and stomp your way through the entirety of this second half of the campaign. So I pretty much said that the group, after Ythryn fell, they were so mad at each other, they vowed never to work with each other again, even if it means to get back there. So each of them is going to be petitioning, pretty much, to get back to Ythryn for their own purposes. You can make it, if you do what I said about them already being on Ythryn, maybe they have dark secrets they want to get back there and hide up. That's kind of what I'm doing with Avarice, is that her intentions to get back there are to cover up some things or find her own things and kill the group right when she gets there. And so, yeah, I had a lot of fun creating the story of Ythryn and weaving it into the Arcane Brotherhood. I think it made more interesting. It was a way to kind of tease what is kind of this campaign's most feared villain in Irilarthus. I would rather fight Auril than fight Irilarthus as the book has it written with the stats that they have. He is a mean son of a gun. And I wanted to start mentioning him early on in this campaign and start, kind of creating a little bit about it. I'll go more into that in my Ythryn video when I do that later. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Arcane Brotherhood. They don't serve as much purpose as I would have loved just straight out of the book, so I had to kind of create my own way and do my own thing here, and I think it really worked out well. It made my group want to cling and talk to the 4 Arcane Brotherhood members and hear them out and work with them at different points and try to always be on their good side, even if they're kind of annoyed with them. So if I would have ran it the way the book had it, I think they kind of would have said, okay, yeah, you know a little bit, but you're not that important. I don't need you. I'm just going to get my information from you and screw off. Do whatever you want. Again, these books are templates. These books are to be interpreted by us, the DMs, and that's just what these videos are about. So, yeah, stay with the channel if you guys like what we're doing here. And until the next time, roll on, gamers.